Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Larry B here, and welcome to today's show. Today we went with a cold open. Of course, this show needs no introduction of why there's a cold open. No explanation of why there is a cold open, as we have lost one of the most iconic stars this world has ever seen. Yesterday, actually about 24 hours ago from right now, a little bit before, a helicopter containing Kobe Bryant, as well as his daughter, Gianna Bryant, and the pilot, as well as another family who has been also, said that they were on the helicopter on board as well. John Altabelli and his family. The helicopter containing all of them had crashed in the hills of Calabasas, and unfortunately there were no survivors. And it's been probably some of the weirdest, or it's been probably, I want to say one set, because I think we've all had some crazy days, but it's been some of the craziest 24 hours I think any of us as sports fans or just as people who loved the guy like I did, like we all did, have experienced in quite some time. I mean, maybe you've had crazy days, recently. I'm sure everybody has. Everyone does. But it has been an incredibly just awkward, weird, whatever you want to call it, just last 24 hours. And but more than anything, it's been sad. It's been very sad. And first hearing the news, I was in denial for about a good hour. I really was. I didn't want to believe that somebody I looked up to for my entire life. I mean, for those of you who are right in my generation, and this is nothing to the older generation or to the younger generation who were diehard fans of Kobe Bryant, but it's incredible because I remember, at 7 years old, I mean, his career was from when I was 7 years old to 27 years old. And, I mean, I could still hear my father yelling at the TV, in Kobe's early days. And I mean, that's when I had my father as well. Unfortunately, as we see and as we know, it's a part of life. And when God calls us, we got to go. So I know it's a part of life, but it's something that we're never ready for. We are never ready for that moment when God calls us home. Even if we know it's coming, we're never ready for it. And today, I just, I didn't even have a show planned. For those of you who know, my life is crazy busy, but it wasn't crazy busy. It wasn't crazy busy enough to do this here today. Yeah, there is a show. There will be a show today. This is the show. I will be talking some sports. My apologies for just the not bad, but the sad and somber mood. My apologies. But, I'll kick it up in a little bit. But I just wanted to show basically how I've been feeling. And I think how everybody, this isn't, definitely not just myself. I mean, all of you out there, you diehards, and just people who respected the man. I think we can all share this mood. And we all have been sharing it. And though life goes on, and the Mamba sure as heck wouldn't all of us to be sad and down and acting like this, you just can't help it, even for the shortest amount of time. I'll never forget when my father, when he would tell me that, one day that he would pass, and I would never, it was just something that, you don't want to hear as a child, but I remember hearing my father telling me, that when he passed one day, not to cry for him, to be a man. And I told him I would, Pops, I got you. I'll never forget it, when I got the phone call after, when he did pass. I cried like a baby. I told my dad I wouldn't. I told my pops that I wouldn't cry for him, because that's what he wanted me to do. And I couldn't help it. Losing my father at almost 19 years old was extremely devastating. And though I told my father that I wouldn't cry for him, I cried like a little girl. And I'm not afraid, and I'm not ashamed to say that. So it's something like that, to where, you want to celebrate his life. You want to, say, like, yeah, live on, as he always will. Kobe Bryant. Of course, my father and my grandmother and everybody else, all those who have passed, all of your loved ones, all my loved ones, they will forever live through God in his everlasting kingdom. They are immortal. We are all immortal through God. Just not here on earth. And that's what I believe, and that's what I've always believed, and that's what I will always believe. It's what I know through God. And I just wanted to say that, it's something that we will all definitely, have to get past. But at the moment, so soon, it's just not the easiest thing to just pick up and, we all got to pick up and do our thing and go. But it's just rough knowing that we've lost a pioneer of, and it's crazy to think. Some people have that mentality, that extreme, diehard, crazy mentality. But I don't think anyone's ever done it like Kobe. And that's no disrespect to the greats before him. I'm not trying to say that we won't get another great like him. I'm just saying that there will never be another Kobe. So, this has just been something that has just really affected the entire sports world. You can't turn on, I turned on the NFL Network this morning, guys, and there they were on Good Morning Football talking about Kobe. And it just goes to show you how big of an icon he was. Is. That just goes to show you how big of an icon he is. Because when other networks are that aren't even involved in your sport are talking about when other networks are devastated with this loss, when there's other associations, other sports leagues that are also suffering this loss with basketball fans and with the NBA, that's huge. Of course, a life is a life, and it's way bigger than any sport can ever be, or anything other than anything. A life is bigger than anything but God. It's God-given. But it's just incredible to think that on a sports level, how he was honored through every sport you can think of. That's special. That's incredible. And Kobe Bryant was an amazing player and person. So, it's, like I said, it's not even, personally, guys, I'm just letting you know, I'm doing this because I wanted to honor him in some way. And though 10, 20, maybe 5 people will hear this, it's all good. I just wanted to make sure that I honored him in some way with something that I do. Also, by training and being an athlete and getting ready to play another season, of course, you better believe I want to be, have him in the back of my mind and think about him when I'm training and everything. Of course. But it's just, this is something that I do. I'm a podcaster. I got this amazing network that I am blessed with all of these incredible podcasters and blog writers and announcers and great people. So I wanted to do something dedicated to him through through what I do in all aspects. And this is one of the aspects. This is what I do, and I wanted to honor him in this way, as well as through my athletics, as well as even in my schooling. I mean, I'm going to mention him for sure in some of my, probably a paper coming up or something. I'm taking a leadership class right now, so it's just, it's just how it is, guys. You gotta, you want to honor the greats. And unfortunately, this great left too soon. So, with that said, y'all, I just wanted to say a few things because I remember I recorded this, guys. I got down on a knee. I held up my phone the entire time. My arms were even burning after a little bit. But there were some moments that there was a moment that I recorded from Kobe's amazing career. And it was actually the night of his jersey retirement. And I recorded it, and I watched it this morning, and it was awesome. It was and I had the night and everything here. I have it recorded, and it's funny because you can hear all like the crackling and like everything in the background. I don't even know where that's from. I have a case on my phone, maybe that's where it's from. But I was on here. I was recording the video, and it's incredible because I loved it because this is the man Kobe was, man. This is just who he was. To think, on his jersey retirement night, he spent not even 5 minutes talking total, or not even, probably right around there. And a tiny part of it was about him. The next part of it was about his wife, Vanessa, and when he, how she showed him the jerseys. That, when he said, I don't know if I can do it. I think it was his last game or his last season. I forgot. But, I think it was his last season. His last game, getting ready for his last game. And she showed him the jerseys. And she said, tell him to basically think about the greats, And it's incredible because that was the night he dropped 60. April 13th, 2016. That was the day that he dropped 60 in his final game. And then, of course, I remember, was it Goodbye Basketball, I think? Or, the thing he won a Emmy for or Oscar for, or I forgot what it was, but there was an award won for that. And it's incredible because that was him. And though we all wanted him to go on and do great things and see him one day like Bill Russell, old man just walking around, enjoying a good basketball game and see him with his white hair. Well, Kobe wouldn't have any hair. He'd have his hair shaved. But I'm going to say his hair shaved. But I'm just saying that we all wanted that. We want that for everybody. We want that for everybody possible. But unfortunately, that's just not the way it goes. And unfortunately, when God calls you home, it's not unfortunate. Because like I told you, I believe we're immortal. We live forever with God. But it's just, here on earth, you want to live here in God's creation. You want to live here as long as you can. You want to see everybody live here and do great things as long as they can. And it's really sad when you see people passing at early ages due to all kinds of things. Okay? Anybody. I don't care how well known they are, if they're a professional athlete, if they're a whoever they are, because those people are somebody's family. They're somebody's friend. They're somebody close to somebody. And you want to see everybody succeed, and you want to see everybody do great things and grow old. But as I mentioned, when God calls you home, you go. And it's so unfortunate because Kobe's daughter, at 13 years old, Gianna Bryant, I mean, it's incredible to think that, I mean, she was 13, guys. I was talking to a great friend of mine yesterday, Mr. Josh Ciordia. He's been on 3 and Out before. And, he's a big old Rams fan. But him and I talked for like 2.5 hours yesterday, just catching up. But when he called me to ask me if it was true, I was still in denial. But then, more news started popping out, and it was true. But, my boy and I got to spend a great time on the phone yesterday, something I don't even get to do a lot of anymore because I'm so busy. And we got to talking and catching up, and it's just, the stories we were telling, and just the life stories and life lessons, and that's what life is, guys. This last weekend, I got to see friends. I got to, I really did. I got to... It's incredible. Here I am 5 days away from my 31st birthday, and I'm always saying that I'm high on life. I love living, and that's just what I do, and it is, and I believe that's what we all should do. Take a little time out to live, but my gosh, sometimes things is so hectic, but there should always be time for family, friends, and people, and it was just an incredible weekend, and so sad that it had to end with an icon. One of the men that I looked up to, one of the players, one of the athletes, like as I mentioned, one of the men that I looked up to growing up has passed. And as I said, I got to watch this guy for all of his years. I was 7 years old when he got drafted, and I was 27 when he retired, and it's just incredible. I got to see Kobe in his best years, in my best years. I got to train and think of the Mamba mentality. And when I'm sitting there with all that weight up under the bar, thinking like, Kobe, this weight is not going to beat me. It's not. This weight is not going to beat me. I'm going to beat this weight. And sometimes the weight did beat me, but I came back for it. And I beat it. I'm saying that everybody out there has some part of the Mamba. God puts people on this earth for so many reasons, and Kobe's reason was absolutely to be a huge inspiration for all kinds of people, for those who think they couldn't, for those who think they could, for everybody. And it's just incredible to know that his career was one of the greatest careers ever. At CBU, where I go, my university, our motto is live your purpose. And you know something? Kobe Bryant lived his purpose. And that's something that I aspire to do every day. To live my purpose. And, the biggest thing is you gotta love. You gotta live every day in love. And I'm so proud of being able to do that. I'm so proud of being able to be who I am, and I can attribute so much of this, like I said, to the Mamba, because I'm a competitor, and I can seriously say that I've learned so much from the iconic player that is Kobe Bryant. And I'll tell you right now, there are so many athletes out there, millions, billions, that can say the same exact thing that I just said, who played at any level. I don't care if they just played 4 years of high school, 2 years of high school, all the way up into Hall of Famers. I'll tell you right now, I believe that Kobe has inspired everybody through all those levels, no matter what. And even though maybe you didn't become an all-time great, maybe you didn't become a professional player, maybe you didn't become a college player, maybe you didn't even get past high school and you just decided to hang it up after high school, or even younger, no matter what. And even aside from sports, as a student, you know, I think everybody who admired him has a piece of the Mamba mentality. But the creator of that Mamba mentality, I mean, of course, that's God. But the one who wore the Mamba mentality is unfortunately no longer with us. And it's very unfortunate. So, with that said, I just wanted to say that I'm very, it's been a rough couple 24 hours, and for all of you diehards out there, Kobe's not gone, Maybe gone in person, but he's definitely never gone in spirit. He's definitely going to live on through sports forever. So, Kobe Bryant yesterday, as well as Gianna Bryant, and also as well as there were some others on the plane as well, and it's really sad to think too that John Altobelli, a long-time coach, man, I had no idea this guy was there this long. 27 years. That's nearly my whole life at Orange Coast College. One of our colleagues, Taryn Rodriguez, is a alum from there, and it's sad to think this guy, I mean, he was a well-respected player. I believe he coached in the minors. He was an alum of Houston. He was a Cougar. He played for them. And to think him and his family were on board the helicopter, and unfortunately they all passed as well. Kobe and that family, and I'm not sure if who else was on there, but on that helicopter, but they were on their way to a camp. And it was so sad seeing one of the somebody that I follow, and they follow me on Twitter, seeing the sad scene of the kids that were waiting for Kobe Bryant to get there with you've seen his Mamba brand, the M and everything on the court and on the wrapped around, like on the wall and everything, and just it was amazing to see that, that this is what he does. This is something that he was going to. He was apparently going to coach there, and his daughter was going to play. It's incredible to think, like, yeah, these happen all the time. These types of events happen, and these amazing athletes go and lend their time because this is what they want to do. This is their choice, and they love it. And it's really sad because they were all excited, I'm sure, to meet Kobe. Maybe this is their second time or third time meeting him. Maybe this was their very first time. But it's really sad because, you know, they were all waiting for him to get there, and it just, it never happened. And it was so sad seeing that picture, because I read in that post that they were all told to take a knee and pray. And unfortunately, you know, everybody would pass. That was not an accident, and it's just really sad. So I just want to say my most deepest condolences and my thoughts and prayers to the Bryant family, to the Altobelli family. I mean, seriously, I'm sorry, to the Altobelli family, to the pilot's family. I mean, to everybody that was involved in that accident. It was just really sad, a very sad thing, and I'm still trying to figure. I mean, it really still feels surreal that one of the greatest to ever play the game is no longer with us, and his 13-year-old daughter, and a family of a legend in the baseball world at OCC. And though he may not be this MLB Hall of Famer, you know, still, the man was important to somebody's program. And he was important to a few different programs. And more than anything, he was important to family members. And it's so sad that this had to happen. But once again, God calls us home, and when he calls, we gotta go. So, to Vanessa and Natalia and the Bryant family, the two babies. Bianca, I think she's a little bit older now, and to their newborn, I send my deepest condolences. My thoughts and prayers are with you all, constantly. And I just wanted to make sure that I expressed how much I loved Kobe Bryant as a athlete and as a person. And I love you, Kobe Bryant. Thank you. Thank you. So with that said, everybody, real quick, I want to jump in the chat room fast. We have a couple chats in there, and my apologies, y'all. I guess came from the heart, and I really had to I just wanted to speak my piece and make sure that, you know, I said everything I wanted to say. But in the chat room here, Taryn, of course, big ups to Taryn, man. Thanks for joining us, brother. He says, rest in eternal peace, Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant. Also, rest in eternal peace to the other 7 people that were involved in that crash. One of those people included former Orange Coast College baseball coach John Altobelli. Yesterday was such a sad day, a sad and heartbreaking day, and absolutely, Marcus. Shout out to Defining Moment. Have a great show. Hey, thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man, for tuning in. Taryn says, it goes to show you that life is precious. You can't take anything for granted. Absolutely. Says, live life to the fullest potential. You never know when the man upstairs can call you home. Absolutely. Says, have a great show, Larry. Thanks, man. And then Terrence says here, I'm going back and forth with this show on the weekend wrap up. Big shout out to Ben, man. Yeah, Ben Shutter's show, man. Big ups to Ben Sutter the 30s. Says, I can only imagine what Lexi Altobelli is going through, having lost both her parents and sister yesterday. Tell your loved ones you love them, and end your beefs and disagreements with your friends and enemies. And he's absolutely right. And I didn't even know there was another sibling and daughter involved. Well, another child involved and a sibling involved out of the Altobelli family. So my heart goes out to Lexi. My thoughts and prayers are with you. And Taryn also says, I saw Kobe Bryant at my old high school in Newport Harbor High. He walks his oldest daughter, Natalia, who plays for Sage High School girls volleyball team, take on my alma mater. I wanted to introduce myself to him, but I wanted him to enjoy his time, and despite Natalia and Sage Hill losing that game to Newport Harbor, he was happy and enjoyed watching Natalia, who is in her senior year, and that's incredible, man. Apparently that was this past year, because, yeah, she's 17, so, but that's incredible, man. That's awesome. You got to see the man in person, and, I mean, you can think of all the great times, right? I mean, I'll never forget seeing him. I didn't see him, but I mean, I can still think right now when they were in the Coliseum. I think it was after their second championship, or maybe it was after their first one. After their first one, 2000, 2001, somewhere right around there. And when, they pulled up and they were in the middle of the Coliseum, and he tells everybody, it was awesome. What does he tell everybody? He says, hey, y'all want to do this again next year? Or something like that. It's just amazing moments of this guy, and it's just so sad seeing the tweets. So sad seeing all of that, man. I mean, the tweets, reading Shaq's tweets, just reading all these athletes' tweets, and seeing all these videos, Kareem, man, and seeing Doc Rivers in tears at that press conference. Popovich, I love what Greg Popovich said, man. Popovich is basically the Belichick of the NBA, in a sense. Short and sweet, to the point, and doesn't like, questions that he's not fond of. But it was incredible seeing his press conference, or seeing a part of it where he walks up to the podium, or he's getting interviewed, and he says, yeah, we lost, whatever. That's basically that's what he said, something along those lines, yeah, we lost, whatever, that doesn't matter. He literally reflected all the he told, I remember him saying that he respects the media giving the locker room, or his locker room, some their privacy, or telling, or pretty much respecting the locker room, and saying that there was a lot of emotional guys in there, and saying that he respected the media not being all up on him, pretty much, and I'm just remembering all these things. Yesterday, man, I didn't want to see all of that. I didn't want to see any of it. I didn't want to read anything or see the videos. But my gosh, when an update popped up, there I was watching videos, there I was reading tweets. I mean, it's everywhere. That goes to show you how iconic Kobe Bryant is, and how many lives he's touched, and it's incredible. So, it sucks. I don't want to be surrounded by this. An icon that I grew up loving and watching. I didn't want to see all this. I don't want to see all this. But here we are. And I'm going to continue to see it, and I'm going to continue to read stuff, and I'm going to continue to watch videos. And as much as it hurts, you got to go. You got to do what you got to do, and you got to live, and you got to do exactly what, it's funny because we're all talking about Kobe Bryant right now. We're all talking about, the Mamba, and we all talk about his everything, his competitive nature. We're talking about everything. And it's incredible because if Kobe Bryant could talk back to us right now, which I'm sure he is, it's funny because he probably wouldn't want none of this. He wanted everybody to go on and continue to compete, because that's what he did. I saw Kawhi Leonard saying something like that. Yes, that's where I got it from, where he said that, we should honor. That's what I remember reading that, I think, in the video that he was attached to on the ESPN SportsCenter app, on the update, saying that, we should continue to compete in honor of him, because that's what he did. It's like somebody in your family, that diehard workforce who doesn't stop working. For instance, like my grandfather, it's just somebody who doesn't stop working. It's funny because you honor them by doing what they do. So it's you want to just, you don't want to work for them, I pass one day, I want everybody to go lift weights. You know? I mean, it's real. It's real. It's funny, but that's what it's all about. It's you. And if you're going to be remembered in any possible way, let you be remembered for what you did. And honor me. You know, you want to honor me? You know what? You want to honor me? Go get a good workout. Go get a good lift. That's what I'm talking about. You know? And I feel like that's Kobe. You want to honor me? Then do what you want to do to your fullest. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't. And this morning, watching that video, I know I spent like, that was like 20 minutes ago I brought that video up. I'm sorry. But that video that I had brought up from his Jersey retirement back on Monday, December 18th, 2017. I want to read this to y'all because, as I mentioned, okay, the first part was a little bit about him, tiny bit, like hardly anything. Then it was about his wife, Vanessa, who told him in that last game, you know, she showed him those jerseys of the greats. He went out and balled out and got and dropped 60 that night on April 13, 2016. And then his daughters. He said it's about family. And he talked about his wife, and then he talked about his daughters. We talked to his daughters. And I literally wrote down, word for word, from that video that I was watching. So I recorded that video. I was on a knee, and I recorded that video from my TV on my phone. And the quality's not all that great, but it was amazing. Because to watch it, I don't care how the quality is. I have a piece of history forever from a man that I'll look up to forever. And I just want to read what he said real quick from that video. He turns to his daughters and he says, you know, well, of course, Vanessa was right there as well. She had, you know, Natalia was there, of course, Gianna, and Bianca, and then the baby. Well, Bianca was the baby at the time, and now, of course, they have the newborn. And I gotta know her name. I'm sorry, guys, I don't know her name, but he turns to them and says, you guys know that if you do the work, if you work hard enough, dreams come true. You know that. We all know that. But hopefully, what you get from tonight is the understanding that those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, but you push yourself and you do it anyway, that is actually the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey. And if you guys can understand that, then what you'll see happen is that. Oh, I'm sorry. And if you guys can understand that, then what you'll see happen is that you won't accomplish your dreams. That you won't accomplish your dreams. Something greater will. And that's amazing. He says, your dreams won't come true. Something greater will. And if you guys can understand that, then I'm doing my job as a father. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Mamba out. And then he puts down the microphone. And those are words that I will live by for the rest of my life. Because though he was talking to his daughters, I feel like he was talking to everybody who loves him. Because it's true. It's true. We've all heard the stories of Kobe, and they're not stories, they're real. We've all heard that just his work ethic, waking up so early, and he even said it. I remember watching Muse that was on Showtime, and it was incredible because at the end of the show, and I know, and I brought this up a few times on the show and numerous times, but at the end of Muse, Kobe Bryant, there was the scene that I will never forget for the rest of my life. I will never forget this. And it's the scene where it's pretty much winding down from the show. It's like a lot of things, you know, like a lot of different images and shots and of him working out and training. And then it gets to the end where he's in Staples Center all by himself. Nobody's there. And he's in Staples Center and he's just shooting. And he says something along the lines of, and I actually have it in my phone. And you know what? I should really try and find this real quick. But, and I will. I'm going to try my best. But, I'll never forget what he said. I mean, maybe not like a ton, like 100% to the T. But he says something like, when do you know it's over? He says, you know, do you wait for someone to tell you? Like, when do you know it's time? And he says something along the lines of him retiring, like pretty much, you know, like talking about that. But he says that if he couldn't be him, then he wouldn't. I mean, I'm messing this up terribly, but, you know, like, when do we know? And when do we know it's time? And, I mean, it got me. I mean, the scene, I can see it in my head right now. But, like I said, I'm failing for words right now. I mean, I'm really trying to look for it, because I would love to read this right now. I wrote it down also, word for word. And this is something that I really just hold close to me, because Kobe is, I mean, like I said, man, he's about as legendary as it gets, and it's just really moving. But I will continue to look for this real quick. But anyway, y'all, so I appreciate everybody tuning in today. For those of you who are tuning in, thank you so much for this. And like I said, I didn't want to do this today, guys. I didn't even want to get on the air. I really... of course, I'm busy, got a lot of things going on and everything, but at the end of the day, man, nothing's more important than people and the ones we love. And I can definitely say that I love Kobe Bryant, and I'm so happy that I got to follow his career throughout his entire career, and be inspired by him, and as he inspired millions. So it's incredible, and I'm just crushed that, unfortunately, he's no longer on this earth with us. So yeah, y'all. With that said, I just, you know, I'm bummed, and it's hard for me to even find the words in a lot of ways. But I do want to say that it's been an incredible. It was an incredible career for one of the greatest to ever live. And I'm so happy that I was able to live in that time with Kobe. And it brings me to a scene of Troy. Troy is an incredible movie. And it tells the story of the Iliad, you know, Achilles, and the story at the end of it, this is something that I kind of have burned in my head. But at the very end of the movie, after Achilles dies, and they put the coins on his eyes, and they get ready to burn him, I remember it's him saying that, you know, let them say that I lived in the time of Hector, tamer of horses. Let them say that I lived in the time of Achilles. And, you know, I'm so proud to say that I lived in the time of Kobe Bryant. It's something that it's really, really, really awesome to know that this amazing athlete, was in our time. So, real quick, y'all. I guess I'm still trying to find this thing from Muse because I really want to read it. But, yeah, it has been a crazy 24 hours, and it's just really tough to say, goodbye to a legend. So, once again, thank you for everybody for tuning in today. And I know I'm sorry I'm not uppity and kind of really down, and I know I shouldn't even be like this right now. I need to pick it up a little bit. And I'm sorry, but I guess, what could I say? Gotta let my emotions out, and gotta, once again, honor one of the greatest to ever play the game and one of my all-time favorite athletes ever. So, yeah, I really gotta find this dang thing from Muse. But, alright, so, anyway, with that said, y'all, I really wanted to continue and do a show today, and kind of just get it all, get like some kind of a show going on. But I think it's best we leave it as just a tribute. I know it's just me blabbing for about, 46 minutes now. But, I think it was just kind of a, it's a good thing. Like, I just wanted to talk about that, and I think that's it. I'll actually have a show, probably later on this week. I just got to figure out the time for it and everything. But I think today's show, we got to leave it as just a tribute to Kobe Bryant. And I know plenty of our shows this week are going to be focused on him. I mean, everything is focused on him. Everything this week. I mean, everything right now. And I mean, once again, we just lost an icon. So, yeah, it's going to be huge. We're going to, this entire week, I mean, I don't care what the sport is. There's going to be all kinds of Kobe Bryant tributes and remembrances of him all throughout IE Sports Radio this week. And I am positive that there's just going to be tons. I mean, there's going to be tons of all of those things. So, from all of our podcasters. I mean, yesterday, it was big. I mean, we all knew it, and I mean, when we all found out, it was just really, it was devastating. As I think the word has been thrown around plenty. But yeah, it's been incredible. I mean, it's been wow. So, but yeah, you're gonna see plenty of that this week. There's lots of remembrances and lots of tributes to one of the all-time greats, and it's just it's sad. I don't really, I'm bummed. I really am bummed that even has to be a thing. But, we gotta treat the legend right. We gotta send him off the right way and remember him for all the great things that he accomplished and all the great things that he left us with. So, it's very true that we honor him as we do. So, alrighty. So anyway, sorry guys, I was kind of blabbing, but yeah, I think I found the Kobe Bryant. Let me see here. Here it is. I found it, guys. I found it. I knew I would find it, and I found it. So here we are. So at the end of Muse, he says, and I wrote this down on February 28th, 2015 at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. I wrote this down. Once again, this is at the end of Muse. The Showtime, it was on Showtime, and it was on for Kobe Bryant. But this is what he says. As he's dribbling the ball and shooting, and as he is, they're paying tribute to him, as his career is. But as he was dribbling and shooting, and you could see like snippets of him and everything, I think, through his career. But once he starts talking over the video and you see him shooting around in the gym, he says, "Who determines when it's up for you? When we say this cannot be accomplished, this cannot be done, then we are shortchanging ourselves. My brain cannot process failure. It will not process failure. Because if I sit there and have to face myself and tell myself, you're a failure, that's almost worse than death." Kobe Bryant. Those words hit me so hard that day. I think I got up and trained after that. Like, seriously, I think the next morning, I think I went to bed and got up at 5 in the morning. And I was ready to rock and roll. I got up at 4 and I was ready. Because those are just, I'm telling you, those are God-given words. That's God. That's coming from God. Like that. There's a reason why you are hearing those words to your ears. And it's like, man, it hits you so hard. And he had those words. He had those speeches. He had those moments that hit you so hard. The name of this show, The Defining Moment, is literally about I wanted to get a cool name, of course, that kind of hits sports. And it really is about those moments that define. And I don't think anybody's ever done it better than Kobe Bryant. With those moments that define. Or in those moments that define. Seeing him win all those 3 titles in the early 2000s. Seeing him win in 2009 and 2010. And even seeing him lose to the Celtics in 2008. Look at this. The man loses to a heated rival. Or, I mean, it wasn't just him, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. But he loses, or they lost to the Celtics. I think it was 4-2 in 6 games in 2008. And he was so, he was a competitor no matter what. But he was so inspired and so probably hurt and crushed in that fire. I mean, I could think to that Dick's Sporting Good commercial where it says, that pit at the end in your stomach after a tough loss, after you put in all that work and it means nothing or something like that. Well, fuel that pit with fire to where you can come out next season and work even harder to where you will never feel that feeling again. That's an incredible commercial on its own. But that's exactly what he did. They lost one. They lost in 2008. And they come out and win in 2009 and 2010. And 2010 was over the Celtics that just beat them 2 years prior. And then I loved it because of what he said. That we don't even know. He said him and Phil. I remember hearing him say something. I think it was an interview with him and Phil, or if it was Phil. But they talked about man, how do we even win? How do we even win those games? How do we win this title, this championship? Because it was God, of course. But it was Kobe, man. God working through Kobe. You're showing this is why you never give up. This is why you always fight. And it's incredible because I remember watching that game 7. I mean, it was incredible. I think it was game 7, but it was incredible. I mean, to see that was a competitor he was and is and who always will be. And Taryn just says in the chat room, I just got to school. I saw someone wearing a Kobe Bryant jersey. It still hasn't hit me that he's gone. It just feels like this is just one big nightmare that we're trying to wake up from. And yeah, you're absolutely right. It does. I heard some athletes saying that the other day as well, and it's true. It does feel like this terrible nightmare. Because I still don't want to accept it. I know he's gone. But I don't want to accept it. So, this will be the end of today's show. As I mentioned, I know I wanted to, kind of just wanted to continue on with the show and be like, how the Mamba would want me to do it. Do as the Mamba would want me to do, as the Mamba wants us all to do, right? But I just think we can leave this as a remembrance piece here today. Like I said, I know it's just more of me blabbing and talking, but I appreciate you all tuning in and letting me do this and hearing me do this. So I'm going to leave y'all with this. We just lost an all-time great. But he's not gone. He's with God and he is eternal now. Gianna is not gone. She is with God and she is eternal now. The Altabelli family is not gone. They are with God and they are eternal now. The pilot of the helicopter is not gone. They are with God and they are eternal now. And I just gotta tell you right now, y'all. Knowing that they're with God, that's about as beautiful as beauty can ever get. And I pray that we all get there one day, when it's our time. So in the amazing motto of the school that I love so much, California Baptist University, everybody out there listening, live your purpose. Live your purpose. Be happy. Be proud. And leave your mark. I believe that's what God wants us to do. And I believe that that's what the Mamba wants us to do. I appreciate you all for today, for tuning in today. I love you all and I appreciate you. And I am very proud and very happy of the amazing people that I've got to meet through this whole podcasting thing. I love you all and I thank you all for this because guess what, guys? It's a legacy. And what we all leave behind in our legacy is the moments that we speak. And it's the things that we leave with people. So, Terrence says in the chat room, amazing show, Larry. He says, amazing tribute to Kobe Bryant. I don't mind you blabbing about Kobe Bryant one bit. Kobe will live on forever. Him and the 8 others will forever be remembered, and they sure will. And they sure will. So with that said, y'all, like I said, I love you all. I appreciate you all. To the Ice Sports Radio family, and to everybody, to my family, to my friends, to everybody, y'all. I appreciate you all, and as Terrence said earlier in the show, tell somebody that's close to you, tell everybody that's close to you, you love them. Because they may be gone soon, they may not be, but just know that you will see them again one day in the everlasting kingdom of heaven. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. God bless you all. And I'll see you all in the next show.